Can we use synthetic division in dividing polynomials with cubic divisor? In this presentation, let us use synthetic division in the division of polynomials where the divisor is a cubic polynomial. Let us have this problem. 2x raised to the 7th power minus 6x to the 6th power plus 7x raised to the 5th power minus 22x to the 4th plus 22x cubed minus 25x squared plus 22x minus 4 divided by the cubic polynomial x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 4. We're going to use synthetic division in the same way that we use synthetic division in dividing polynomials with linear and quadratic divisor. We make sure that the dividend or the terms in the dividend and in the divisor are arranged in descending order of degrees. Let us begin by writing the coefficients of the dividend. We have 2, negative 6, 7, negative 22, positive 22, negative 25, positive 22, and negative 4. For the divisor, since the degree of the divisor is 3 and the leading coefficient is 1, then for the synthetic divisor, we'll have the opposite sign of the coefficients of the second, third, and the fourth term. So we have 3, that is from negative 3x squared, negative 2 as the second synthetic divisor from 2x, and then positive 4. If in the quadratic divisor we allowed 3 lines before writing the coefficients of the quotient, in this case we're going to allow or allot 3 lines in writing the coefficients of the quotient. So first, let us bring down the first coefficient 2 and multiply this by the first divisor, that is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And then add negative 6 plus 6 is 0. This time, let us multiply 0 to the first divisor, that is 0 times 3, 0. And then the first sum, or the one that we put down earlier, 2 multiplied by the second divisor, negative 2, that will be negative 4. And then add 7 plus negative 4 is 3. Multiply 3 by the first divisor, that is 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then the previous coefficient, 0, multiplied by the second divisor, negative 2. So 0 times negative 2 is 0. Then we now have 2 times the third divisor, 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Then add negative 22 plus 9 plus 8 is negative 5. Then let's multiply negative 5 by the first divisor, negative 5 times 3, that is negative 15. And then the previous 3 multiplied by the second divisor times negative 2, that's negative 6. And then the previous 0 multiplied by the third divisor, which is 4, that is 0. And then add 22 plus negative 15 plus negative 6 is positive 1. Then multiply 1 by the first divisor, that is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. And then the previous negative 5 multiplied by the second divisor, negative 2, that is positive 10. And then the previous 3 multiplied by the third divisor, 4. Then 3 times 4 is 12. And then let us add negative 25 plus 3 is negative 22. Plus 10 is negative 12 plus 12, that is 0. This time we're not going to multiply the sum by the first divisor. We will multiply the previous by the second divisor. So we have 1 times negative 2, that is negative 2. And then the previous negative 5 times the third divisor, 4, that is negative 20. Then let us add 22 plus negative 2 plus negative 20, that is 0. And then we're not going to multiply the last two sums by the first and second divisor. We're just going to multiply the previous, which is 1, by the third divisor. So that will be 1 times 4. We have 4. And negative 4 plus 4 is 0. For a cubic divisor, the last three sums is for the remainder in the division of polynomials. Then we have the coefficients of the quotient. We have x raised to the 7th power divided by x raised to the 3rd power. So the quotient is of degree 4. So we have 2x raised to the 4th power plus 0x raised to the 3rd power, that will not write that anymore, plus 3x squared minus 5x plus 1. Then we were able to perform synthetic division in polynomial division with cubic divisor. You can check the answer by multiplying the quotient 2x to the 4th power plus 3x squared minus 5x plus 1 by the divisor x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 4, and see that the answer will be the same as the dividend. Let us have another example. This time the divisor is still cubic, but the leading coefficient is not equal to 1. So we have 8x to the 5th power minus 20x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 3 divided by 2x cubed plus x squared minus 5x minus 3. So again, we begin by writing the coefficients of the dividend. We have 8. We do not have a term in the 4th power, so we have 0. Negative 20 for negative 20x cubed. Negative 1 for x squared. Positive 1 for x. And then negative 3. Since the leading coefficient of the divisor is 2, we will divide all the coefficients of the other terms by 2. And then our synthetic divisor will be the opposite sign, still negative 1/2, positive 5/2, and then positive 3/2. Let us begin by bringing down the first coefficient, that is 8. So 8 times negative 1/2 is negative 4, and then we add, that's negative 4. Negative 4 multiplied by the first divisor, negative 4 times negative 1/2, that is positive 2. And then the previous sum, 8, multiplied by the second divisor, 8 times 5/2 is 20. Then negative 20 plus 2 plus 20 is positive 2. Then multiply this sum by the first divisor. 2 times negative 1/2 is negative 1. Then the previous sum, negative 4 multiplied by the second divisor, 5/2, that will be negative 10. And then the previous sum, 8 multiplied by the third divisor, 8 times 3/2 is positive 12. Negative 1 plus negative 1 plus negative 10 plus 12 is 0. This time we're not going to multiply 0 by the first divisor, but multiply the previous sum, which is 2, by the second divisor. 2 times 5/2 is 5. And then the previous sum, negative 4, multiplied by the third divisor, 3/2, we have negative 6. And then add, this will be 0. Again, we're not going to multiply the last two sums by the first and second divisor, but multiply the previous sum, which is 2, by the third divisor. 2 times 3/2 is positive 3. Then add negative 3 plus positive 3 is 0. The last three sums will be for the remainder, and since all these are zeros, then we do not have a remainder. Now, since the coefficient of the divisor is not equal to 1, we're going to divide these sums in the quotient by the coefficient of the leading term in the divisor. So divide by 2, we have 4. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Therefore, our answer is 4x squared, since we have the dividend in the 5th degree and the divisor in the 3rd degree. So the quotient will be quadratic. Then the quotient is 4x squared minus 2x plus 1. Again, you can check the answer by multiplying the quotient 4x squared minus 2x plus 1 by the divisor 2x cubed plus x squared minus 5x minus 3, and see that the answer will be the same as the dividend. That will be all. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more math contest drills for Filipino Kids videos.